It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Cassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gager.
Episode 29 of Two Guys and a Goalie, presented to you by Oddshark. Visit them at oddshark.com. They are our go-to sponsor. Also brought to you by Popeyes Legendary Louisiana Chicken and Sport Clip Haircuts, where it's good to be a guy. What's wrong, Cass?
I don't know, Gager was looking over. So
You got to talk into your mic.
Gager was looking over there, and so I don't know what.
No, it's the
Bush League right now. We need to fix that green screen.
Did the green screen
we need to push it more towards your guys' left.
Do you want?
you got working gloves on. You can probably handle this.
This green screen, I tell you, we need to invest in a little bit of a larger green screen that doesn't have to be duct taped to the roof of the dungeon here.
Anyone listening knows any
Actually,
structural engineers that we can have to
what I was thinking is, can't you just paint the entire walls green?
Yeah.
Do you think that would work?
That's actually a really good idea.
Cass, what you have to do is you have to duct tape the
Thank
green
you,
screen
Cass.
to that box in the corner, and then we're good to go. I think you're good. Just
Yeah.
don't touch anything.
Yeah.
And we're all right. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Matt Cassian. Clutch move. It is Dustin Nielsen's Walking Gauge. It's Cass, who is wearing the gloves, but it's going to warm up in here a little bit now. We got the heater going and the doors closed. Hernan's wearing a toque. I mean, we're all trying to stay nice and
I got my
toasty.
jacket
Yeah, you had your
wrapped around
jacket
the
wrapped
torso.
around your waist.
It's going to be like Bikram yoga in here soon.
Sweaty.
Do you guys ever go to yoga? Let's talk yoga for a second.
I did long time. Yeah.
Like long time ago, or you
Long
went for a
time
long
ago,
time?
and I went for a long time. Yeah, did
Really?
a little Kundalini yoga.
What is that?
It's more for pregnant women, from what I understand. But loosen up the hips. Really good. I actually watched that. That's a scary documentary, that Bikram yoga. He's like a poor man. Well, he's like a Harvey Weinstein of the yoga industry. So, yeah,
What?
that was-
Well, this took a dark turn.
Yeah, no, but I had a really good time with yoga.
So was it you and a bunch of pregnant women?
There was a lot of women, but I went with three of my friends from back home in Vancouver.
Okay.
And so we were doing it in Vancouver, and these guys were male models. They like, I was their ugly friend when I.
Well, except you look like Vin Diesel.
That's I was just about to say,
Except that's just to show you how good looking these guys were. But they would the ladies definitely liked the Esselmont brothers is what they
Really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Especially Ryan. Ryan was extremely good looking. He I think he actually married a girl. The Moose was trying to date.
He married a girl that Messier was going after?
I think she was dating both at the same time and chose my buddy over the Moose.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, what he must have been great looking.
Yeah, she wasn't bad too. She was a penthouse centerfold, I think.
Wow.
So
there's that. There you go. There's
top that.
Cass, you have any yoga stories?
Not like that. We did them as part of like our workouts. We would,
As a team?
As a team, we would stretch, but it was less about that. You're not doing it as actual yoga. You're just doing some of the movements to try to get some mobility.
Did you guys call it yoga, or did you just call it stretching?
We called it. I mean, you called it yoga. But
Yeah.
Really, it was just stretching.
And you would do it as a team in a hot room
Yeah.
together with your shirts off?
No. I've never done the hot stuff.
Oh, no, okay.
No.
My wife went to yoga last night. First time she's been in a while.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a yoga studio like right by my house. So last year for her birthday, I got her like a 10-pass gift
Oh, nice.
certificate. Hadn't used it. It's been like 8 months. She's like, I might go to yoga. I said, didn't I get you a pass today? She goes, yeah. And I finally felt good that she was using the birthday present I got her.
That hot yoga, I did it once here with a buddy, and I'm a sweater. Like, when I played hockey, I would lose 10 to 12 pounds a game, and I couldn't do it anymore because I felt so conscious because it was a full room, and I'm laying there, and I can see the puddle of sweat going straight toward the back of the girl in front of me, and it's getting closer and closer, and I couldn't focus. That was
You didn't like bring a towel or something. You could just.
that's
Wipe
the
it up
thing.
with?
I was focused for. I didn't realize how much I had
Clearly,
sweat.
you weren't that
He was in
focused 'cause
downward dog.
You were paying attention to the sweat dripping off your
Well,
body
no, I
rolling
didn't.
down the floor.
I didn't notice it till later, and then I go, "Oh my God, there's my river, the river of sweat." And
Was this the first time you ever did this? Like ever?
the hot one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the normal one, I sweat in it, but I mean, it's like 120 degrees in there. It was ridiculous. I'll never do that again because it's really disgusting what actually transpired.
Struds always tells a story when him and Patrick Kabongo went together.
Oh, Patrick Kabongo.
Yeah, and he said the puddle of
Patty.
sweat those two they were in the back. They had to be in the back because they were sweating so much.
Oh, God.
Really?
And Kabongo's a huge.
Kabongo's a
He's
big boy.
man.
Yeah, he
When
was
I-
at Grey Cup this year. Saw Kabongo.
When I used to work out at the U of A,
Yep.
and they had the bikes there, it was the old gym, and they had the exercise bikes, and me and a couple guys, we'd be doing like sprints on the bikes, and the stairs were right there. The girl that was working the front came up and gave me crap and said, "Don't spray your water bottles on you." And I go, "Do you see a water bottle?" And my sweat was going down and actually running down the stairs. So I had to.
Your sweat was running down the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's gross.
I know.
Cass, are you a sweater? Like not at that level.
I sweat a lot, but not like that.
Not running down the
And,
stairs.
and the thing is I know that I sweat a lot, so I typically grab a towel so that I
Yeah,
don't have any stair running sweat.
Yeah, that was
disgusting.
pretty gross.
It's very gross.
Yeah.
All right, well, we can move along with the podcast. Thank you very much to Oddshark for sponsoring. You can visit them at oddshark.com. Scott Hastings from Oddshark will join us a little bit later on. I want to ask him why the Habs, who've lost 7 in a row, are favorited against the Edmonton Oilers tonight, who are coming off wins again. Like, I just want to know how it works, because that doesn't seem to make much sense. So that's why we're going to have Scott Hastings on from Oddshark. Lots of other things to get to as well. Of course, you can always comment on the Apple Podcast page. And I had one guy comment, and I wanted to bring this up because I don't think we brought it up before. But I think we've talked about good places to use the washroom in Edmonton or like wherever you're
Yeah,
at.
posting them in the comments.
Yeah. Did you see that one comment?
Yeah.
But and it's not a bad idea. To get Hernan's nodding. Did you see it too, Nern?
I saw it,
It's
too.
a good. So just going into lobbies of hotels and using what is obviously a clean and not busy washroom, like that's almost a no-brainer. That's great.
Yeah, and it doesn't look that odd because it's like lots of people come in and out of hotels.
Yeah.
So.
Do they know you're staying there or not?
Yeah, maybe you checked in last night and it's a new person working the front desk in the morning. They don't know.
Exactly. I think that's a brilliant move.
Yeah, no,
Did you ever do that when you were making the rounds with Shaw? Like,
somewhat, but I used old age homes because they always let you in, and it was super clean.
It had to be like
Are you-
incredibly
are you-
sterile.
Yeah, they were all, and they had the holy shit bars. So if you really had to grab onto something, perfect.
okay, so as Cass and I
Thank you,
suggest,
Devonshire.
as we suggested, you can go into a hotel and people are like, "Oh, I might be staying here." How did you get away with going into an old folks' home? Some dude in his 40s rolls in.
Well, how did I?
Yeah, how did that? Did
I had
nobody
a-
ever call you on it? Or?
I had a tool belt. I was with Shaw.
Oh, so you'd have the whole outfit on.
Yeah.
So what would you
And
do
even-
that? Would
even-
you do that now though?
With a shirt and tie, yeah. They think you're visiting a relative.
And this guy comes in and visits his grandpa lots.
You're like 2 times a day.
And they're pretty quick visits.
Yeah. No, it was great. Always clean. Always. You know what? The worst thing is as a cable guy, you have to you don't. At home, it's fine. There's no toilet paper. You yell at someone. You get into a stall and it's an emergency, and then you realize there's no wipe. Yeah, that's
You got to check before you go, man.
well, yeah, but
That's true.
sometimes if you're not used to it, one instance
I mean,
I
if you're
didn't.
not used to it, I'm not used to having.
I didn't
drop a
look.
deuce?
I didn't look. Let's just say I had to go buy a new pair of socks.
All right. We got lots to get to from the world of the National Hockey League today as well. Man, I was going to get into vasectomies, but we don't even need to do that now. We can save that for another episode, which is great. All right, we've got, like I said, lots to get to. Scott Hastings a little bit later on. We'll keep it or clip it. I want to talk a little bit about Jeopardy today because are you following the Tournament of Goats or whatever?
Oh no! I just Alex Trebek.
Well, that's sad news. Yeah, but they're doing. I think this is why they're doing like the greatest of all time on Jeopardy. They're
really?
having a head-to-head right now, like Ken Jennings, who's that nerdy guy that just like made hundreds of thousands of dollars? Like,
He was the one from the summer.
yeah, he's been on a tear, and then there's some poor third guy that's been tossed in the mix there. So we're gonna play NHL Jeopardy today. I've come up with 5 clues, and you guys have to say who is, and then give me the answer. How's that sound? That'll be
Cass?
fun, right?
I like your chances, Cass. I'm not.
You know, when I was doing the questions, I was just like, oh, Gager's fucked on these ones. So, Cass, you better. What's the total? 200, 400, 600? How much can you make?
Depends.
What's
if
it
it's
work out to if you get it all
double.
right?
If you get a daily double.
Well, there's
there
no
a daily-
daily double, boys. I only got 5 questions. It's just like one category. So,
100,
200,
200, 300, 400. If you have 5 questions, it's
2,800.
500.
Yeah.
well, no, 100, 200, because that's what they do, right? Isn't it? Doesn't Jeopardy?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the
I
double.
thought the second
then
one
it
was
double.
2, 4, 6, 8, and 1,000.
you're right.
It's completely arbitrary because there's only 5 questions.
Well, but
Doesn't
anyway, I
matter.
got the questions, and we'll do that a little bit later on. So that'll be fun.
Little heads up would have helped, Dusty.
Well, but you're not going to be able to study for these questions anyway.
I would have general knowledge.
I think you guys will probably get at least 3 of them.
You can use a lifeline Gager.
Really?
Oh yeah, you could use Hernan as a lifeline.
That's not,
Not a good
that's
one,
Not
but-
Jeopardy.
You're right. That is not Jeopardy. All right. Actually, Hernan, you can play as well because I've got the questions. So
What is Gager's socks?
incorrect.
Ass wipe.
Okay, so we'll explain how Jeopardy works a little bit later on, and keep it or clip it as well.
What do I get for that?
Leafs and Jets. Let's start there. Leafs and Jets played. Went to overtime. The overtime was absolutely incredible. Went to a shootout. Winnipeg won. Did you see? I don't know if you guys saw the celly. Did you see Wheeler after he scored the winner?
No.
5-hole. Andersson got a piece. Goes in the net. Spins around. Heads back towards the bench. Like with authority. Unstraps his helmet. Pushes up his visor. And it's like. I thought it was like job's
good.
done.
I liked
right?
it.
Is that
Like, job's done. We're finished.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more. Well, I hope it was more for the Leafs.
yeah,
Or
to give it
just
to them, like,
just give
boom,
it to
we're
them,
done. Like, I'm done
we're
with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that silly, though. It was good.
love it.
It was good. It was good. Austin Matthews, 2 more goals last night. He's got now 30, first American and first Leaf ever to score 30 in each of his 4 seasons. Saw an article on Sportsnet this morning describing his effort last night as heroic and how he's put himself in the heart conversation.
real hero.
Well, that's what I mean. Using
Forget those-
heroic for a hockey
Forget
seems
those guys
Yeah.
fighting the firefighters in
Exactly.
Australia. Yeah.
and in a loss.
Yeah.
They lost as well. But that doesn't take away from the conversation that he's probably in the mix for the Hart Trophy, right? I mean, he's second in the league in goals. Toronto's turned their season around. I mean, I would think he's a top 5 candidate. I'm usually pretty anti Toronto, but I think Matthews has got to be up there, don't
Yeah,
you?
I think so. I like what he said after the game against the Oilers, where he was asked, I think, about Connor's goal, and he
Yeah.
said, once again, he's shown why he is the best player in the world. Like he actually made reference
Well,
to not.
there's no doubt. Like, I've talked to a whole bunch of players. There's no doubt in anybody's mind. I have not heard one single player that I have talked to, and I've talked to a number of them,
Yeah.
that has said Austin Matthews is the number 1 guy.
Nobody said, "Wait,
Everyone's
Cass."
just like, yeah, wait a second. Because you see him, and I talk to them when they come through the city, and, and they're like, well, you know, like, I mean, I usually like asking, well, how do you like playing against Connor? Like, what's that like? And they're, especially the defensemen, and they're just like, whoa, man. They're like,
There's nothing like it.
there's
Like,
nothing like it.
Yeah.
And not once has I've heard, oh, but that Austin Matthews guy.
Nobody's brought it up. Well, this is what I wanted to ask you guys because I was thinking about this. Do you think McDavid Matthews over the next 5 to 7 years kind of becomes a Crosby Ovechkin type of thing where Matthews could identify himself as, you know, by far the better goal scorer of the two, but McDavid will always be the better player? Like, is that, I might be stretching a bit, but is that the kind of comparison? Like, I don't know if Matthews gets to that Ovechkin type level. And of course, McDavid would have to win to get to the Crosby type level, but is it like a poor man's version of that?
Yeah, I don't think he'd
No?
look at it as a better goal scorer. You might have something with the comparison of who's within a year or two trying to see who is the better player. They get measured by their championships, right?
Yeah.
So that's how Crosby and Ovi were measured for so long, and of course with the Caps winning a few years ago, the gaps become a little bit smaller, and Ovechkin just. I mean, after the Connor goal, like I think he scored 2 goals that night as well, and they were unbelievable goals that
Ovechkin?
Ovi scored.
Yeah,
Like,
we watched him, my boy and I. And then one was a one-timer off a knee from a horrible angle.
and then
a
the snap, from between a guy's legs. So, no, I think I don't think you'll see on a personal skill level, but just the we'll start ticking boxes in the amount of championships that hopefully they win.
I'm just thinking, Cass, because you mentioned it. Nobody mentions, when it comes to best player in the league. I'm sure when people rolled through back in the day and you asked or talked about Crosby or played against Crosby, like, it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? It's kind of the same, like. Or does Matthews just not carry the same sort of, profile that Ovechkin carries?
I don't think he carries the same profile as Ovechkin carries because I think it's the way that Ovechkin scores.
Well, and he
too.
scored 50 as a rookie, right? Like,
and the way that he celebrates when he does it too is a little bit different. And that's not saying Austin Matthews is a fantastic player, and I would
snipe.
Yeah, I would take him on my team.
He's got a wicked shot, man.
Oh, he is one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
He is one of the best players in the league. And if you want to put him in the conversation for the Hart Trophy, I have absolutely no problem doing that at all. But he just doesn't seem to carry the same profile. And maybe that is just personality too.
Lovable Russian versus, an
lovable
American
Russian,
in
American
Toronto.
with a lion tattoo.
Yeah. And a fidget spinner and a purse.
He's got a purse.
Did you see at
that-
the beginning of the Edmonton Toronto game, he was walking in and he's got, people texting in and telling me on my radio show that it's called a MERS, European handbag, whatever. He was wearing a purse, basically.
What are you carrying that, though? That's what I was wondering. What's he got in there? Like
a fidget spinner,
a really
for
big
sure.
wallet.
Oh, yeah. It's all cash.
And one credit card.
And
that's it.
But it's a home game. He probably doesn't have to pay for anything in
Mustache
Toronto.
wax, because he's got that stash going right
Yeah,
now.
he's got to work on that.
Do you think he does it to be funny? Because I hope he does it to be funny, his mustache. Like, I don't think he looks at that in the morning and goes, oh, man, that's a good-looking mustache.
Well, the hairline's going back pretty quick, so maybe
Actually,
it's compensating.
he could be a little bit of. He could have a Kessel going on.
Yeah,
with the look up top in a while.
He should grow. If he wants to really be funny, he should grow out the back now, just and just keep going that way.
That would be awesome.
That would be really good.
One of the things that popped up, probably because it was Toronto playing, and maybe because they lost, but also because the 3-on-3 last night was pretty entertaining. I watched that overtime. I think the Jets had a 2-on-0. Then they had another breakaway as well. Andersson made some good saves. This is our Popeyes poll question today, actually. Try Popeyes legendary Louisiana chicken today. What would you like to see for overtime? Because a lot of people just hate the shootout. So you want things to stay the same, 10 minutes of 3-on-3, and then a shootout, or just continuous 3-on-3 until it's over? And I put that as an option because how long would it really go? Like, at the most, what are you going to play? 12 minutes of 3-on-3?
You could. That's
Do you think it ever goes further than that, though?
It could.
You could.
I mean, once in a while,
always
very
the
rarely.
potential for it. So, like, how long do you go? That's the
thing. I mean, if you hate the shootout, then you just got to go until the game ends.
Yeah, but that's never going to fly.
But it's not going to take
you can't for travel, even for travel purposes, you can't. Like for example, San Jose, the airport,
because you have to
when
get out,
fly,
right?
You have to get out by a certain time. So if you start tacking on another 10, 15 minutes of overtime, and now you're tacking on, the additional time, like just to get to the airport, you may not get to the airport on time. Are you going to get the flight? And the NHLPA, the players aren't going to go for that extra time. It's just,
would they go to 10?
Would you
go to 10?
But even that, like, where are you going to draw the line? Like, you're going to have Leon Draisaitl stay on for 10 minutes of overtime?
maybe Leon Draisaitl needs to go off for a second.
Right. And so who you're going to put on? Like, guys like me? Like, and then it's not going to be as entertaining because I'm just going to be like, well, I'm literally going to pin the puck up against the wall for 30 seconds, 40 seconds until I can go and get that other guy back on the ice.
Unless Carey Price is in that. Then you'll score on it.
Then I'll score.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's game over.
Hernan, you tweeted this out. What are the results here?
Yeah, 245 votes in, 56% leading the way for continuous 3-on-3. Second is 10 minutes of 3-on-3 at 36. Stay the same as 8. And then Rick chimes in. He sends this. I like Brian Burke's suggestion of not being able to retreat back across the red line with possession, no resetting.
Yeah, see, he said other
Over
people
back.
on your radio station mentioned a shot clock or a over and back kind of. I'm not
Similar to basketball.
I'm fine with the over and back.
Over and back.
Really?
I wasn't at first, but now thinking about it, yeah, that would be.
Okay, but how does it work?
Yeah,
Because you can't. When you carry or pass the puck across the red line,
Yeah.
you can't bring it back over.
Yeah,
But what if you bobble a pass and it
Then-
bounces over the red line?
same as in basketball.
So you can't touch it? The other team
But
gets
then
it?
it's like a face-off.
Well,
or
then
what?
it's more
That even is-
gimmicky than a shootout, for goodness sakes.
Well,
That's
maybe-
not even,
How is
that's
that more
not,
gimmicky?
that's not even
How's
real
that more
hockey.
gimmicky than a shootout?
You're just all of a sudden gonna if the puck goes back over center ice, the other team just gets it.
Don't turn the
No,
puck
no,
over. No,
the
they get a shootout. They get a penalty shot.
What is? I don't understand how this works. The over and back.
Well, maybe
Shot clock. I mean but that changes
they
the game
put a
entirely.
dot at the blue line, like, and the ref puts
In
the
the
puck
middle
on
of
the blue line, and then they start from there.
You could even do it from behind your own net.
Yeah, they could. It could just be a shot behind.
No
the
way.
line.
This is ridiculous. This, like I was saying this earlier today. Like, people, I know a lot of people are like, the shootout is a goddamn gimmick. And I'm like, yeah, but guess what, man? They don't play 3-on-3 in regulation ever either. Like, 3-on-3 is not real hockey either. Watch a game. You never see in 5-on-5 or even 4-on-4, McDavid will hold the puck for 40 seconds hoping the other team changes. Like, all of it is not real hockey. Really is. I know, I get it. They're still outside. They still, goalies have to make, I get it. But 3-on-3 is just as much of a farce as anything else.
I think
I love it. I love watching it, but it's the truth.
I think they should go to 3 points in regulation, and then 2 points for the win in 3-on-3, and then after the 5 minutes, it's just a tie.
And you each get a point.
Yeah. So I think you'd get, and then you'd each get a point. So that way.
So basically, you would play 5 minutes for 1 extra point.
Yeah.
And
One extra
But if you
point.
win in regulation, you get 3.
You get 3. Yeah.
What do you think about that, Cass? Don't like it.
I'd have to think about it.
I'm surprised that. Did you say continuous 3-on-3?
Yeah, leading the way at
Yeah,
56%.
I kind of just threw it in there as like a.
It's just they won't. I'd like it, but they'll never go for it. Like you said, they couldn't.
won't happen.
You know, it's too dangerous, too much time, and
Yeah, it'd be tough to do. The one that I like the most is I didn't even put on there. It's Golden Bears, like U of A uses it. You got a call?
no, that was sorry. I thought I hit that. Did you hear the?
I didn't hear it. What was it?
It's the Mandalorian.
Your ringtone's Mandalorian?
Yeah.
I like it. 5 minutes 4-on-4, 5 minutes 3-on-3, shootout if necessary. I've seen like 2 shootouts in 10 years with the Bears. Like
Oh.
it usually ends at some point.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you do 3-on-3, 2-on-2?
2-on-2 is for minor hockey. You can't put 2-on-2.
That's hockey week.
Could you imagine though McDavid and Draisaitl
Hey.
versus Marner and Matthews or something like that? Like,
This is
Or
the
just.
way.
Or,
hey,
Nicely
that was a good
done.
Mandalorian
No,
reference
that
as
is
well.
great.
God,
Ah,
that's
good
impressive.
reference.
This is
Wow.
the way. Nice work, Cass.
I'm going to
Yeah,
actually
that's-
start working that in all the time.
Yeah,
should.
you do.
Sometimes we might miss it, but if we get it, then it's pretty. Yeah, that was good. All right,
was
I like
really
that.
good.
That's good. Okay, Rasmus Andersson down in Calgary signed a 6-year deal worth $4.55 million with the Flames. He's played about 130 games in his career. He's had 1 full season. He'll have another full season here as well. Cass, do you like these D-men who you're like, he's going to be a top 4 guy for us? Let's lock him up now. And in the final 4 years of this deal, it could end up being really good. Do you like that deal from a team perspective?
The gamble is that if he doesn't continue the uptrend,
Yeah, what if he just stays who he
he
is?
stays who he is. Well, if he stays who he is, though, you're still paying him under 5, at least.
Yeah, but 4.55 isn't cheap.
It's
Like,
not cheap. It's not nothing, but it's not overly. I mean, you don't have him on a Milan Lucic style contract here. Like, you're not burning that much cap space. And if you had to buy him out or send him down, like, some of that is going to get eaten. So it's not horrible. So I don't mind it. I think what they're looking at too is, they have Juuso Välimäki too.
Välimäki,
who's going to be coming back, who's going to be an absolute stud. And they're looking at it going, okay, for the future, how are we going to manage this if we take a little bit of a gamble here and he pans out and some of our other prospects pan out? We're going to have to try to fit everyone in. And to do that, we're going to need some value contracts. And, yep, a little bit of a gamble here, but do you want to gamble with a little less money, or do you want to gamble with he plays 2 years, continues the uptrend, and then you're signing him for $6 million per year?
I think it depends on your overall long-term financial picture, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you have the room to do it now, then maybe do it now. But if you would prefer a couple years, $2 million, take the chance. Maybe he's only worth 4 on the next one. You know,
Right.
it's a little risky. Gager, what do you think?
How do you compare him to Nurse? I was just thinking.
Well, Nurse, I mean, I think Anderson falls somewhere in between Nurse and Bear right now.
Yeah.
You know, like Nurse has had, what did Nurse have last year? 40-some points.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
had
he's
a-
played twice as many games as Anderson. Nurse is gonna get paid here in Edmonton for sure. I thought the one that was interesting is the Ethan Bear comparison, because he's an RFA. He's played about half the games. He's on pace for like similar points as Anderson this year. And as soon as the Anderson deal came out, I had people tweeting me being like, "Hey, you think the Oilers could get Bear on the same deal?" And I'm like, I don't know if you're ready to give. Like, Ethan Bear has been an Oilers defenseman regularly for half a season. Mm-hmm. Is there any way you would give him a 6-year deal?
I'm bridging him for sure. Hopefully for 2 to 3 years. That's it's not a good enough sample size. He's only played half a season. You need to see him more.
So what if Gager? What if this summer comes? You obviously you're going to qualify him because you're going to qualify him.
It's nothing to qualify.
It's nothing to qualify him. And I'm not sure who his agent is. Comes to you. So Ethan Bear's agent comes to you. You're the GM and says, "I want 6 years at 3.75."
Oof. Depends how he finishes the year.
Which is fair, actually. You're right. Like, what if Bear kind of trends downwards? Or
I think there's been a little bit of drop off in his play.
I would agree. Yeah,
but I think we're getting into the time in the schedule where the travel it starts to add up. The added minutes that he's shown that he could handle, but I think you're seeing a little bit of a decline in play right now. After last game, just with the extra couple days of rest, everyone's looked a lot better, but. I think I would have to see how it all plays out till the end of the year.
What's the number that would say 6 years? What's the annual AAV or whatever that you'd be like, yep, right now? 2.75?
Yeah. For a good...
He's not
going for that.
He's not doing it. Remember Ryan Ellis signed that type of deal? It was a while ago and it's different money.
Look how
and it
good
ended up being a great
now.
deal for the Preds, and now he's on a bigger one. But all right, we'll come back around. Well, the Oilers, they get the Montreal Canadiens tonight. And Mike Smith's going to make his 4th consecutive start. Jeff Hastings from oddshark.com is with us. And we talked about it earlier in the podcast. The Montreal Canadiens have lost 7 in a row. They're missing a bunch of their top-end forwards. The Oilers have coming off wins against the Bruins and Leafs and 2 days off. And still, the Montreal Canadiens are favorited against the Edmonton Oilers. So, hate to put you on the spot here, man, but what the hell, Jeff? Like, I don't understand. You got to explain it to me. I don't understand how the Habs, with how bad they've struggled, can be favorited in this game. Where's Jeff?
I was going to say he doesn't understand.
He's blown away.
He doesn't know either. Hernan's working with him. God, I got so fired up for that question, and
have to do it again?
couldn't get the answer. Well, this time I'll be like, so Jeff, what's up with the Habs being favored? I already wasted the good question earlier on because it doesn't make much sense. Although, I don't know, Cass, try to justify. Give me reasons Montreal could beat Edmonton tonight.
I'm sure they look at historically, like, will Montreal lose 8 in a row? Historically, this season even, Edmonton, how often have they won 3 in a row?
Well, they haven't. Yeah, it's been a while.
And looking at the starting goaltenders, they'll probably take a look at a lot of different things.
Speaking of starting goaltenders, 4 in a row for Mike Smith.
Yeah, all you guys are haters, and I've just been supportive.
You have been a warm blanket.
I have been a warm
You're
blanket.
surprised, though.
Yeah.
I was surprised he's playing this one.
Yeah.
I'm shocked, actually.
You're shocked?
Yeah. Well, the goals that he gave up last game. We mentioned the one he tried to stop with his back.
No, I know those.
That was.
I can't defend those.
I can't. There's
Sorry,
nothing
Mike.
I can do about.
Can't defend those.
That's a tough save to make. I've tried.
Cass, as a Mike Smith supporter, explain him making a save with his back.
Oh, I just said I'm not going to defend those.
I know.
Yeah, those ones I will not defend.
That's a tough spot to be in.
It is a tough
All right,
spot.
do we have Jeff now? Jeff, let's bring in Jeff. Jeff, are you there? We still don't have Jeff.
Yeah, I keep saying.
Hey guys,
Oh,
how's it
there
going?
we go. Hey, Jeff, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Jeff.
Good to chat with you again, man. I don't know if you heard earlier, but I gave this great
good
question.
Holidays for you?
Yeah. Great holiday. It was good. Why are the Habs favorited over the Oilers tonight? They've lost 7 in a row. You've got to be kidding me.
It's got poor connection.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. The only thing I can think of is Carey Price. Okay. Yep. Got me there?
Yeah,
the only thing I'm thinking of is Carey Price. Like, that's the only thing. This team doesn't have a tremendous scoring, a ton of injuries through the lineup. It just doesn't make any sense.
When people are looking at, setting the odds, when these guys set the odds, Cass had just kind of mentioned it. Like, how often do they look at, Okay, well, the Habs have lost 7 in a row. Here are the odds of them not losing 8 in a row. The Oilers haven't won 3 in a row in a long time. They've won 2 in a row right now. How much do they look at the trends of the two clubs as opposed to just, the two teams on paper right now?
I think you can definitely see that. And a lot of people will buy a line on that reasoning alone, is that there's no way that they lose 8 in a row. And as you mentioned, Edmonton hasn't won 3 in a row. So you'll do something like, well, it's guaranteed to be the other way. But just looking at paper and the way that Connor McDavid is playing recently and, making his cross-Canada trip, what he did in Toronto was absolutely terrific. Made Morgan Riley look absolutely horrendous. So doing stuff like that, I'm sure on the big stage in Montreal, he's going to perform again at a very high level. And the only person that can stop him is Carey Price.
Yeah, maybe that's that might be the one way. I just look at it. I've been suckered in on these. You look at it and go, wow, this is great value on the Oilers as an underdog. How many times have you been bitten the ass just being like, wow, got to bet on these guys because that's a ridiculous number.
Yeah, I find it's better. I think you hit on a good point there as an underdog. Sometimes you'll see these teams that should be favored, but they're not favored as much as they probably should be. That's when I stay away because I feel there's something fishy going on there. I go back to one of the first times we talked with Edmonton in LA, and they were only favored minus 130. That line should have been closer to minus 150, minus 160. And of course, when the Kings visited Edmonton, that line was around that. I think it was 170. So lines when they're favorited, but not by as much as they should be, is where I draw a little bit of a red flag. But if they're an underdog, those are perfect times to hop on them, in my opinion.
How long does it take for the odds makers to adjust a team like Toronto, where they were struggling, changed the coaches, and then prior to losing to the Oilers, they were like 9-0-1 in their last 10. So like at that point, has it flipped away from maybe where people were a little bit hesitant earlier on with the Leafs into full-blown, oh my God, these guys are going to be minus 220 favorites in every game?
Yeah, it looked like it took about, 7 or 8 games where they were similar odds to what they were under Babcock. That first game against Arizona, they were a slight underdog, maybe even a pick 'em when it finally closed. And now you're seeing them much closer to a minus 200 favorite, even sometimes beyond that. So I think it does take a little bit of time to see how teams adjust. And if anyone was hopping on the Leafs during that time, I was a little hesitant myself. But seeing how well they performed under their new leadership, they were making bettors a lot of money over that span. So it is a good opportunity to hop on teams when there's a new coaching change or injuries. Montreal is a prime example that when Max Domi went down in early November, they had gone on a horrible slide as well, losing 6 or 7 games in a row, and they were still favored in many of those games. I cleaned up against them.
How about a team that just recently made a coaching change like the Nashville Predators, a team that maybe has been underperforming all year, now has a coaching change? What has been the situation with them?
Yeah, bingo. That's a team that I'm keeping an eye on as well. I want to see them perform a little better because they have been underperforming all year. Like, this was a team that I had pegged, as definitely a Stanley Cup contender, and they've just fell flat on their face. They're still sitting outside the playoff spot too, which intrigues me for a futures bet, but they've got a lot of work to do. So I'm going to hold off for probably 3 or 4 games, see how they perform, if they can get a little more stability in the crease and stuff like that. And if so, that could be a team. You might be able to snipe a few games in about a week or so where the odds haven't adjusted, but where they haven't shown any promise yet, it's a stay away from me.
Before we let you go, man, anything that you're trending towards this weekend? You like anything out there?
Yeah, I'm loving the under for Boston at New York. You got 2 of the lowest scoring, or the allowing the fewest goals in the East going head to head. New York doesn't look like they can score recently. Scored 1 against Colorado, and just I'm not a big fan of the Islanders' play recently. And Boston is in a little bit of a slide, so I think we're going to see that line at 5.5, and I think the under is the play to make in that one.
Scott, appreciate the time, man. Thanks a lot.
See you later, guys. Talk to you next week.
There you go. That is Scott Hastings from Odd Track. I think I called him Jeff at the beginning of it. Did I accidentally call him Jeff?
Well, for some reason, I tweeted Jeff Hastings, and I don't know where I got Jeff Hastings from.
It's because it's on my sheet
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Oh.
I'm looking at a video. I'm like, no, this is Scott. I haven't talked to him in like a month, so it's just like I don't know where I got the name Jeff from. Scott handled it really well. He was good.
Yeah.
Should have called me.
Probably
out
why he didn't answer.
partway through. Yeah, Jeff, are you there? And Scott's like, what the hell is he talking about?
Do you know a Jeff Hastings?
No, I'm trying to think if I know any Jeffs. I don't really know any Jeffs. Yeah,
Spicoli.
yeah. Cash, you asked about Nashville. What do you think about the Preds making the coaching change there? Like bringing in John Hines so quickly.
And immediately after.
Yeah.
So he was probably getting interviewed.
And they're like, if we want Hines, we got to get him.
We got to get him now. It's an interesting one to me because how much is he really going to change? And even like on the power play and the penalty kill, because that's been where they really have struggled. Not just 5-on-5, but it's been special teams. I don't know how much it changes. I hope it does. I've picked them. I think when we did, was it last week or the week before when we picked teams that were outside the playoffs that we
thought they
expected?
would.
I thought that they were going to be one, and maybe this is a wake up call for them. We saw San Jose, St. Louis do it last year. Tampa has now started to do it. They're on an absolute tear, and maybe Nashville gets to join them. So maybe it turns it around.
Gager, let me simplify it here.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, both their goaltenders' save percentage is under 900. So, I mean, is that just too? I look at it and go, oh, a coach has been fired, and then you go like the same in New Jersey. Like these coaches get fired, you go and look, and the goaltender save percentages are always under 900.
But I think their 5-on-5 save percentage is respectable.
Pekarine's is okay, actually 5-on-5.
So
That's right. Yeah.
it's their PK. But saying that, like some people justify it that way, but your goaltender does have to be your best penalty killer, right? So if it's a specialty teams problem, that's funny because I had Laviolette as a coach, and he was awesome. He was one of
Where did he coach you?
In Providence for the Bruins farm team. He was great. Everyone loved him. He was a real emotional guy, a real leader, quite vocal. I remember the first game he came in and he was early and he was talking to guys and getting guys fired up, which a lot of coaches didn't do. And he could have changed from then on because he was quite younger. But I really enjoyed him as a coach. I was always hoping when the Oilers were looking for a coach at one point. I can't remember which one it was, but he was in between jobs. I think he went to Philly at that time. But I was really hoping the Oilers got a chance to grab him because I thought he could definitely turn the franchise around at that point in time.
You say he would come into the room before the game and just chat with guys individually?
Yeah, and he joked and he would say, like, there was a lot of expletives, but he'd say, "Hey, Batesy, are you ready?" And Bates would say, "Yeah," and he'd go, "Don't screw with me, Batesy, don't screw with me." He was just he'd make everyone laugh, and he was awesome. He was a really good guy.
All right, a couple other things. We'll play Keep It or Clip It here in a few moments. You guys see the All-Star jerseys?
No.
You haven't seen the All-Star jersey yet? Gager, I'll bring it up for you here. Cass, what do you think of it? Yeah, exactly. Now, it's an All-Star jersey, so I shouldn't care so much about it. But
my favorite of all time, and maybe it's just because this was like prime hockey card collecting age, was when they had like the black and orange
old whales and
across they would go down shoulder to shoulder.
I love those ones.
Yeah, they were the best. I'd still buy one of those if I could.
Oh, those are awesome.
Like those are good jerseys. These ones,
I'm kind of surprised with everyone doing retro ones. I'm kind of surprised they're not bringing them back.
Oh, like a full blown. Bring back a retro All-Star jersey.
All-Star jersey.
That's a good
lot
idea.
of the teams are doing retro jerseys.
Yeah.
So why not do a retro All-Star jersey?
Yeah, that's pretty plain. Hey,
It's very plain. It's black or white with the music. Like those are the bars and music for the Blues.
Okay. A theme one's okay, but I would go. If I was the NHL, I would plaster advertisement all over that thing, like the European jerseys. I think that's a good look.
I make a lot of money off it.
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
all over just white.
I don't mind it actually. I don't mind that look.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it up close a couple times. Now.
Yeah,
It's kind of cool looking. I know everybody's like, "Oh, it looks hideous," but in person, it's like, "Oh, cool."
I mean, what's with our soccer teams? Vodafone on their stuff and Xbox and on a Premier League team and stuff. Yeah, I think you could throw some advertising.
NBA does it now. They got like the little logos up on the jerseys as well. All right. I tweeted this out the other day when you were talking about going and playing. on the ODR. It's like, who wants in for a game? And a lot of people are like, yeah, we'll come play. So if we were to have an outdoor game, we'd have to find like a real rink with like boards and stuff, right? Like,
No.
No?
No.
Cass?
Well, maybe Cass.
Well,
Cass.
we need, if Gager's actually playing goalie, then yeah, we'll probably need someone with boards.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's no net to shoot?
No, because you're going to be like kicking it all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I'll control those rebounds.
No, but if we're going to have like a bunch of guys out, I think we need to find like an
You should
ODR
have
that
seen
actually
Cass
has
at our last alumni skate. He was flying, and he.
Oh, we want to talk about the. Oh, I haven't brought this up yet.
Oh my gosh,
What?
So the first shot he comes down, and I just jump in net, and he rifles it, and no warm up, no shot, and rifles it shelf, and he blew it past me. But and then he just goes, yeah, all the way down the ice. But in the game, so I made a couple of really good
You
stops.
did make a whole bunch. I couldn't score.
I stood and he was flying, like he's going around some old guys like they're. He looked like Connor.
Because he was in net, so it's like he wasn't out. That's the first time he'd been out in a while. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I really want to
look
score.
like Connor?
I really
Well,
wanna
he's
score
treating
this.
D-men like Connor. Yeah,
Cass.
yeah. Oh,
Nice.
the big man can move.
Yeah, I've seen
and
him
he's got
play
a
some-
sledgehammer for a shot, which sucks. And then, then the one goal you did, that was unbelievable
that
because
one.
I made a couple saves that I shouldn't have
Yeah.
on him, and then he came in and went short side, top cheddar, and I was like, "How
Nice
did?"
little bar down. It
Oh
was-
my god!
Where
Like,
you get the good ting.
yeah, like throughout the whole rink, ding! Like it was
pretty nice.
It was pretty sweet. And then your brother got hit in the head and you
Hit
had
in
to
the
leave.
face and cut, and we had to leave because we had to go get him stitches.
Seriously?
Yeah. But it was, you know what? It was, it got to a moment for me where I was starting to get frustrated because
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
could
I
see
can't
it.
score on this guy.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, I
he
was
made
giving
couple
it to him a
nice
little
saves,
bit.
yeah. Which is good. I mean, so you should.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was funny.
So do you light up alumni skates? Like, or did you just get fired up because Gager's there?
I got fired up because it was Gager,
Yeah.
so I was like, I have to score.
God, that's great.
And Belzy ripped one off my bucket too.
What?
Yeah,
No, same thing. He just wants to fire him by Gager's ears.
yes. Well, he came and apologized after, but he said, I was gonna shoot it, and then I realized you weren't net, so I said, oh, I can lean into this one, and just right in the bean. Yeah.
God.
But
That's nice. So that sounds
hey,
fun. Yeah.
That's the position I picked, right? So
Are you like can you be one of the regular goalies for alumni skates, or how's that?
I
like,
try to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we got another one Tuesday, but that'll be tough.
But how many goalies are kicking around town? Like, do they need you to come out all the time, or like, are there
No,
enough guys?
there's usually enough guys. So that's actually who texted me, Chris Joseph, to see if I could participate on Tuesday. But I think we have one at the end of the month. You should come out.
You know, I've been invited to one of those in the past, and I'm I don't think I could keep up with you guys.
You'll
Yeah?
be fine.
Yeah.
No,
It would be
It's
fun though.
fun.
It would
Yeah.
be fun. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get to keeper clip. But if we do an ODR game,
Well, we probably should
we
find
need
a
to have
sponsor.
like boards.
Yeah, find
Yeah.
a sponsor.
Oh,
and
you probably
probably
have a sponsor, yeah.
and probably have something for charity.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Play with us. Donate $25.
Right,
Goes to a charity.
Goes to a charity.
That's a really good idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to go food bank, just a perishable item.
food bank.
Or even
yeah,
that
that's
too.
really
That'd
good.
be good
That's
too,
smart
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. All right, well, we'll try to make that happen. So if you're listening to the podcast, tweet at us or in the comment section, Apple Podcasts, or here on the live stream. Let us know if you'd be interested, and maybe we'll try to put something together when it's not freezing cold out.
Yeah. I tweeted out. It's got it. I don't go after minus 15. I can do under that.
Well, good
but-
for you, because minus 15 is still pretty chilly, buddy. Like,
Yeah, but I'm hot.
all right, let's try this Jeopardy game that I've got lined up.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so I've got the questions. Oh, I had
Is
them
there a screen behind us? You put it on the green screen?
No, I don't think we can put it on the green screen.
Can we get some jingles in here? Do we have
Hernan,
the-
I'm going to need my phone back. Questions are on my phone. Yeah. You don't need it anymore, right? So, all right. So you know how it works. There's one category: 200, 400, 600, 800, and 1,000.
Answer in the form of a question, right?
Answer in the form of a question. That's correct. I think I've done these properly so they can be answered in the form of a question. We'll
I'll
see.
make
We'll
something
see how it goes. All right, here we go. So let's see here. Does anybody really want to go first?
No, isn't it buzzer?
Okay.
We gotta go buzzer.
Well, but not the very first one. How do they determine who starts the game of Jeopardy?
It's a coin toss?
I think it's a coin
It's
toss
a
pre-game.
three-sided coin?
You go
Here,
ahead.
I got
You
a
go
coin.
first.
I think
got
the
a coin.
champ goes first.
Champ goes first.
Yeah.
Gager goes.
No,
Here
I
we go.
lost.
Look, it's 5 francs.
Oh, cool.
I still haven't
Wow.
washed these jeans since I got back. All right, so I don't know. Say
Frank.
lady or not lady.
Okay.
Okay, who's calling it?
He calls it.
What are you saying?
So you flip it and I
Okay,
call
all
it?
right.
Lady.
It's lady.
Later.
All right, you get to go first. 200, 400, 600,
So are we
800.
saying like Buzz? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. You
Buzz.
say Buzz. Gager, what do you want? 200, 400, 600, 800, or 1,000?
I'll just go to 200.
All right.
Please, Dustin.
For 200, this Oilers forward had 10 hits in the game against the Leafs. Say
Matt Cassian.
Say Buzz.
Buzz.
And you also said Matt Cassian, who's sitting next to you.
It says
Who is-
who is Zach Cassian?
Hernan.
I know who it is then.
It was a really weird one. That's why I brought it up. I talked about my radio show. If any of you guys listened.
I didn't listen.
I'm going to go with Archibald.
No, James Neal.
Oh.
James Neal had 10 points
who you're gonna
or
say?
10 hits against the
It's
Leafs.
back to you. No, it wasn't.
All right, so Gager, you're still in control of the board.
Aren't I down 200?
Both of us.
Yeah,
Both of
you
us.
guys are all down to minus
Okay.
200. All right, Gager, do you want 400, 600,
Let's go
800?
400. We'll go
All right, 400.
400, please, Dustin.
Ooh, see, now this, I tied in some other clues here along the way that you're supposed to, I think. Once considered a scholar, he now leads the Flames in plus minus. Oh, you guys. Over. No, too late.
Yeah.
Derek Ryan, Clinton U of A, a scholar. I am really disappointed in Jeopardy here, boys. All right,
didn't
you're
lose any
also
money.
minus 200.
I
You're also
didn't
minus 200.
buzz. I
I didn't buzz. I
No,
didn't
but you're all
buzz.
minus 200 from the
I
first
didn't
one.
want to go
Okay,
down
okay.
more.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
no.
That's smart play. All right, Gager, unfortunately, the board is still yours. 600, 800, or 1,000.
600, please, Dustin.
Okay, got to get this one. This former Canadian joins Ovechkin and McKinnon in the top 3 of shots on goal this year. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Buzz.
Oh,
Max Pacioretty.
Got it!
Who is Max Pacioretty?
I'll give it to you.
600?
Gager goes up to 400 plus. Yeah. All right. So Gager, nice work. Yeah, Max Pacioretty.
I was trying to think of former
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah.
And,
How about that? He's third in the league in shots on goal. He's got like 190 shots.
I was like, no,
No, definitely not Galchenyuk. All right, two things left, Gager. The board is still yours.
I'll take shitty questions for 800, please. Dustin.
Struck it long and struck it hard.
All right, here we go. This one, I don't know if you guys can get this one. This isn't even a good clue. This D-man has risen from the grave this year and leads the league with plus 30. Yeah.
Who is Vin Diesel?
Minus 1,000 for Cass total now.
Anyone?
Can I give you a secondary clue on this?
Yeah.
We get a second.
His name is in the clue.
What?
Ryan Graves.
Oh.
I mentioned Grave in the clue. I thought you guys would get it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Really?
actually, he's plus 30. Leads the league. Can you believe
Wow.
that?
Oh, God.
I can't believe that. Okay, here's the
Plus-
final clue.
plus and minus is a horrible
Yeah,
stat.
that's-
That's why I don't even pay attention to it.
Cass, you need this to break even because you're minus 1,000 right now. Gager, you're in the lead at plus 400.
Isn't this like
Hernan's
Final
minus-
Jeopardy?
I
Like we
didn't
can
do
rank-
Final Jeopardy. We're
Okay,
just
next
in the
time,
early
next time,
stages of
next
this.
time, next
Early
time.
stages of this. All right, here we go. For $1,000. This former Oiler, and I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds to think about this.
I almost said myself.
This former Oiler is currently tied with Leon Draisaitl atop the league's game-winning goals with 7. 10. 9.
And Perron.
Yes! Cass, nice work, buddy.
Who is Perron?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you still get it. You'll get it.
You'll get it.
All right, so you go to even.
Man,
Hernan's
I would've
minus
won if I
200.
didn't blow that. Vin
You're right.
Diesel
The
one.
800 one, you purposely blew it on Vin Diesel, which I appreciated. That was worth it. Congratulations, Gager. You won the first round of Jeopardy. Shake my hand.
Thank
Plus
you.
$400.
That's awesome.
That was fun. That was
So does
fun.
he
That
actually get
was fun.
$400?
No, I don't get him $400
Pesos.
cash.
Just put it in the bank.
We could have Monopoly money and keep track of it over time in like a little folder on the wall over there or something. That was fun. I liked coming up with those clues.
Yeah.
Good job in the Perron one, Cass.
Nice
Yeah.
job. Nice job.
It took me a second. And I'm like, I just want to make sure I say his name right and say who is, and then I
Then you
didn't.
just
You know what I should have said for the one? I should have said, this D-man has risen from the Ryan Graves this year. And leads the league with, I just still don't know if you guys would have got it.
Probably.
No,
not.
I wouldn't have.
Probably not.
I don't keep, well, like Cass, I don't keep track of that stat. Right?
No, you don't look at plus minus.
Who cares?
Oh, geez.
Who cares?
The studio's falling apart. We got to wrap things up here.
Oh no.
Don't worry about it. We'll get through it. Is it look okay now?
it's
no,
okay.
we need it back up.
What?
Cass,
Can we just ride it out?
We can. All we see is a little bit of brick and a blue.
Good enough.
Yeah,
Good
it's
enough.
good.
Good enough.
Whatever.
We'll ride it out. We'll fix it up for next time.
It's cutting out one of our sponsors too.
Well, Sport Clips, we love them. We're going to play
Yeah.
Keep It or Clip It right now
sports
anyway.
clips.
All
Sports
right,
clips.
it's time
Sports
for
clips.
Sport Clips, haircuts, Keep It or Clip It, where it's good to be a guy, home of the MVP experience. I just saw it on the video over here. It does look hilarious. All right, here we go. Kyle Dubas will add a defenseman via trade before the deadline. Keep it or clip it. Because they're rolling right now. So does he say, this is a team who can win it all?
When is Muzzin coming back?
I don't know.
I don't know how long he's out
I'd clip
for.
it. I don't think they're going to add it.
Yeah, I'd clip it.
No.
I don't think so.
Muzzin's coming back, so they don't need it.
All right. Ken Holland will be able to get a roster player and a deal for Jesse Puljujärvi. Keep it or clip it.
Clip it.
No chance?
I don't think so. He gets a pick. Part of a package, maybe,
Yeah, okay, maybe part of a package.
but one for one, no.
I think keep it. I think there's something's going to happen here with old Yessi. I think they're gonna get a player that they'll be able to use.
Cass, let me ask you this. For a side note here, this isn't a keep it or clip it question. For Jesse Puljujärvi, for another franchise, do you think they look at it and go, hey, he's having one of the best seasons in Finland? Or do they look at it and go, it didn't work in Edmonton with this guy, it might not work here either?
I think they
Like,
look
how do
at
you weigh it? Because
they weigh more heavily on the because how many guys have we seen have success in Europe come over and not have success here?
yeah, that's true.
I think they look at it and they go,
He did score 13 goals as a teenager, like when he was 19.
yeah,
Like, that's not bad.
no, it's not bad. But they also know that Edmonton, like, you're forced kind of into a corner with it. So
Yeah. I also wonder if anybody looks at it and goes, well, it's the Oilers too. Like maybe we can make it work better than they did, right?
Yeah.
There might still be a little bit of that lingering around.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't mismanaged during the Holland era. He hasn't really been involved in the Holland era.
That was
right?
a big mistake on his part, not to give it a
to
whirl.
come here and play,
then
yeah.
if it didn't work, just go back. If that was the case,
That's true. Like give it a go with it because
Yeah.
you say you want a fresh start. They give you a fresh start.
it
and
was
then you
all
don't take
fresh for him to
Yeah.
start with here. So maybe it was something else in the room.
All right. Jeopardy is the best game show ever. Keep it or clip it. You big game show guys?
Yeah, I was. I found Jeopardy a little bit too tough at times, though. So because I couldn't get the answers.
I like when they did Teen Jeopardy.
no, I'm going to clip it. I still, you know what my favorite all time probably is?
Wheel of Fortune.
No, Cash Cab.
What's that?
You never watch Cash Cab?
No.
That's a game show, though.
It sounds
game
sounds
show.
like a
How's
website
that not a game show?
for adults.
When they're in the cab and they got to do the thing.
It's like New York, and there's a Canadian version, I think, is in Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
And it's like a trivia show. You think you're getting in a cab, and all of a sudden the inside of the cab lights up, and you have to answer questions. And if you miss too many, you get kicked out.
Never heard of it in my life.
It's an awesome show.
No, it's on. It's still on. I can clip it. My favorite was Name That Tune when I was a kid because I remember watching that and they'd play a couple notes of the tune and people would. I remember one guy in particular. He yelled out this tune like he thought he knew it and he didn't know it, but they always got it wrong. I liked that one. That was
No
fun.
love for Family Feud.
Family Feud's pretty
The
good.
Feud's
How
good.
about American Gladiator?
Was that really a game show?
Yeah.
It's kind of different. Do you want to? I liked Supermarket Sweep.
Yes.
Right?
That's fun.
You guys ever watch Supermarket Sweep?
No.
It was fun. It was good, especially if you like shop.
Iron Chef. Is that considered a game show?
I don't think any of these are game shows that you're listing. I think these are just reality TV shows, guys.
Well, they're competitions. A game show.
What about The Bachelor? That's a game show. That's a horror show is what that is.
All right, Carey Price would carry significant value in a trade. Keep it or clip it.
Keep it. With the proper team in front of him, I think you're
That's what I was thinking,
automatically a Stanley Cup contender. He's like
He's got 6 years left at like 10 points some per.
That's the
Right, so that's
the tough part.
That's why the question gets asked.
Yeah.
And his numbers this year are like very average.
Yeah, no. Well, and he's in the back end. He's starting the back nine of his career.
He's early
too.
30s.
Yeah, there's a lot of good years left in him. I think he needs a good backup. Well, he needs a good team and a good backup where he doesn't have to play 60. I think at this point in his career. But yeah, I'd keep it. He would he would change the way a team looks for sure.
I think if you've got like a contender and you throw him behind you,
Who needs a goalie
that's a really good team.
Yeah, like I was actually thinking about this just the other day. Who would he?
Nashville.
Oh, you're kind of waiting on Rene to pick it back up.
Yeah, Rene's won Vezina.
Would Arizona be one? Because Ranta's always
Yeah,
hurt.
but Kemper had a really.
Kemper
He's been
was-
awesome.
Can you really?
What about this one? And I don't mind the two guys that they have, but what if you put Carey Price in net for the Colorado Avalanche?
That's
That's an interesting.
That's a
Right?
very interesting one. Yeah, that's the one I didn't think of because I was also thinking most of the teams that are contenders are pretty set in goal, so there's no reason to go get.
I like don't mind the idea of like Grubauer or Francouz or whoever they have there, but I mean,
Would you trade Byram
no,
for a price?
no chance.
No chance.
No, if I'm Colorado, no chance. No way.
You know what? I was
No
thinking about watching the World Juniors. You know, it wasn't only him that sucked my talent out. There was two other kids.
Suck my talent out.
Who else?
I knew little Valenti from on the German team. I used to hold him, and Jack Drury was Ted Drury's son when I played with him. So I knew three little kids that I knew played in the World Juniors, all for different countries.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty neat.
All right. The biggest strength, I saw this on Canucks Army. Check it out, CanucksArmy.com, one of the Nation Network sites. The biggest strength of the Canucks is their top six. Keep it or clip it.
I'm going to keep it. I think they're a pretty well-rounded team, but that top line is solid. And the second line,
And they're
I think,
running Horvat on another line.
on
right?
another
Like,
line, and I was just about to say before you threw me off there that Horvat is second line as a second line center. I think is pretty solid, and it's a good line. So I'm going to say, yeah, that's their biggest strength.
Yeah, I hate to do it, but yeah, you're right, Cass. It's not good
Thank
for
you.
the cast, but you once again have proven your intellectual prowess.
All right. Cassian would win a game of Jeopardy among the three of us. Keep it or clip it. Like a straight up knowledge Jeopardy.
You know, I know a lot of useless stuff, so depending on the board, I can hold my own, as we have just seen in a Jeopardy setting. But if this thing progresses the way I think it should, we'll find out. Maybe a little tournament of champions with knowledge.
Yeah, I think you know what I'm gonna say, clip it, because it all depends on the categories.
Clip
It really does. You're right. Because I feel like I could run a few categories too.
Yeah.
Like if Quantum Leap television show came up, I would crush you guys. So,
Yeah.
you know
I
what
mean,
I
all you
Like,
guys
there are
need to do
things-
is like have a category of like Friends, the TV show, and I'm never gonna win.
That's true. You're right.
Oh no,
know the
wait, I'll
answers
get it.
anyway.
Answers, yeah. Just say Monica, Rachel, Chandler, and the baby.
They were on a break.
What's on a break?
What is on a
The
break?
one with the turkey.
All right. Milan Lucic's bleached blonde hair is a great look. Keep it or clip it.
Clip it. I'm not a fan. Back in grade 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it in the final week of college.
Yeah.
My buddies and I dyed our hair blonde.
But you know what? Whatever. Like if he wants to, go for it. I don't really care.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it's a great look.
Not for me.
I'm keeping it. When I was in Sweden, I rolled blonde. It was a good look.
Made you feel
Just
confident.
tried to fit in. with
Yeah,
all the
just trying
Swedes.
to fit in. Yeah.
Hey, we clearly know
I-
you're losing your hair and you're not blonde.
Yeah.
Diesel doesn't
I
have
was-
blonde hair.
He would if he lived in Sweden.
All right, here, this one. If I had 10 penalty shots on Gager, I would score at least twice.
Clip it.
10?
Clip it.
10.
Clip it.
Score on 2 of 10.
Clip it.
Or
Cass has no faith.
Clip it.
what's the setting? Are people watching, or is it just me and you?
What's the difference?
There's added pressure.
Okay,
when
but
people
what type
watch.
of people? Like just some randoms
saying-
at the ODR or like our
Yeah,
families?
I'd say
I'm saying like
ODR.
probably
Or
a
are we
couple
at
hundred
Rogers
people.
Place and
I
there's
mean-
18,000?
Doesn't matter. 10, 20. There's still pressure, especially if you don't know them. Yeah. So let's say 100 people watching. Yeah, you won't score.
Not once?
No.
No.
Wow. Now
gonna
we have
happen.
to get on the ODR.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You won't.
Sorry, Dusty.
Not even 1 out of 10?
No.
Maybe if Gager like slips and falls.
What are the percentages of that happening?
Very
Low.
Well, unless I got my skate guard still on, probably not.
What was all that 1 in a million talk?
No, you know what? You might score one. You might score one.
Yeah, maybe one just sneaks through,
That's
right?
what I
Like,
mean. Maybe you
But
get lucky on
if,
one. But
if you don't score within the first 3 or 4, you're not scoring.
Really? Now, is that because And I'm just wondering, like, is it because you get a read on me, or you know how I go, or
No,
you're
it's
just like,
all
you're
mental.
not good?
It's
Like,
just like Juice
mental
Boy.
after that.
on my part.
So
Yeah.
we used to do this thing. So in the minors, you do Juice Boy.
Oh, yeah.
We'd still do it.
What's it
too.
called?
Juice Boy.
Okay.
Boy.
So Juice Boy is like you do like a shootout at the end of practice. It's like after the coaches are all off, and the last guy to score has to fill up a cup of Gatorade for every single guy in the dressing room.
So you're literally the juice
So
boy.
you're the Juice Boy. I mean,
Yeah.
ergo the name Juice Boy. We actually did Spray Tan Boy a couple times too.
and he got to get
He had
spray
to get a
tan?
spray tan. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually sounds fun.
That's fun. Those ones I was like, and
Did
those,
you ever- were you ever
no,
Juice Boy?
I was Juice Boy, but it's
Yeah.
never Spray Tan Boy. Those were.
I can't stop thinking of you with a spray tan right now.
Isn't that a Friends episode?
The one with the spray tan.
With the spray tan.
Yeah, it was the later you get, like when you get down like halfway, like you
If
miss
you
the
haven't
first two or
scored
three,
yet,
if you
like-
haven't scored, you start getting like, especially if it's Spray Tan Boy, like you start getting nervous.
See, and it'd be tough if we do it on the ODR because I can blame the ice, right? Like, oh, this ice is shit. I can't handle the puck at all. That'd be tough.
But I'd get the shovel out.
Yeah.
You would? You'd
Yeah.
shovel it
For
for
you-
us?
for you, yeah.
Oh, thanks, Kaz.
For you, Dusty.
Well, now we've got like one event at our ODR gathering. It'd be fun
We might
to
have
see.
to talk to the people at Oddshark and get
Put some odds on that.
Put some odds on that.
Yeah, I wonder if they would. Like former National Hockey League goalie against like Div 8 player.
Yeah.
I wonder what
you're-
the odds would be on that.
You're a Div 5 player.
You know what I would do? I would bet on you. Take that money and get out of here. I think that would work out pretty well.
You're the Pete Rose of podcasts.
I'm the Pete Rose of outdoor rink podcasts. I like it. That's good. All right, so that's going to do it for episode 29. Hernan, any thoughts and ideas for a name? I've got a couple.
I got a couple. I got
Okay.
Puddle of Sweat.
Ooh, that's a good
I
one.
got Holy Shit Bars. And I got Suck My Talent Out.
Ooh, I think I like the first one, Puddle of Sweat.
Puddle of Sweat.
I
All right.
I like shit socks. But
Shit Sucks was good.
We'll go with Puddle of Sweat. Episode 29, Puddle of Sweat, all presented to you by Odd Shark, our presenting sponsor, Popeyes, legendary Louisiana Chicken, and Sport Club Haircuts, home of the MVP experience. For Hernan Salas, Matt Cassie, and Joaquin Gage, I'm Dustin Nielsen. We'll be back with episode 30 on Monday.